How to become better with women's shelter in Tampa, Florida. Tampa, Florida, you have come across with this article because you are in need of a place to live with, and it is not an accident that you are navigated to our website. Are you in need of a conducive and secure shelter yet you are still in doubt or hesitant because you are a woman? Or either feel ashamed to seek out for help because you are a victim of domestic violence caused by your partner, or someone which you felt threatened of, wherein also caused you a psychological harm, maldevelopment, or deprivation. Cast all your worries now. We are here to guide and help you to know more about women's shelter, to get comfortable with it and to become an advocate also to women who also struggles each day in breaking the bond of domestic violence. We will simply discuss the common guidelines you need to consider in order to achieve a better version and new you. 1. Your housing needs should be well supported. Women recovering from abusive situations face challenges in accessing safe and affordable housing. Women's shelters and transition houses for women affected by violence have developed practices to respond to women's housing needs. These practices have been evolving around in the following concepts, helping women cope with their longer-term challenges. Removing barriers to access to accommodation. Offering more supportive housing units and catering your medical, nutritional needs and mental health stability. Offering a sustainable employment to attain self-reliance. Providing educational support for your children also and promoting the shelter needs of women. On the stage of recovering from any traumatic events, it would really seem difficult, stressful and time-consuming to look for affordable and secure accommodation. Women at a time when access to permanent housing is becoming increasingly difficult due to rapidly rising costs for private housing, stagnation in social assistance and growing waiting lists for social housing. Furthermore, if there's nothing left in you but you wanted to avail the shelter program, then there are financial assistance where you can ask for funding or locate an affordable housing because there are plenty of women's shelter which are funded by an independent or private organization. For example, some of the low-cost shelter provider organizations are funded by the Homeless Assistance Fund Incorporated, HAFI, a private, independent foundation that finances the elimination of obstacles that save you homeless individuals and households from having access to everlasting housing. HAFI makes offers to homeless service companies who offer programs and initiatives that assist homeless people and households turn out to be self-sufficient, with the point of interest of shifting their customers into permanent housing. In this manner, your housing needs are attainable, and don't hesitate to speak out so that your basic needs will be settled and addressed appropriately. If your hopelessness may seem knocks you down to find new shelter, there's always a suitable key for you to open on your new door that would warmly accept you and clear away all your anxieties, fear, and doubt to recreate yourself despite of your past. 2. Your comfort and security should be their top priority. Secure and adequate accommodation are the best place to reside with because women's traumatic or alarming experience would most likely drive them to become more cautious and keen to their surroundings. Women's shelter must assure all residents to access this service wherein they also embody their organization to constantly regard this essential purpose of their presence. This is the basic right of every constituent to be enjoyed, to feel protected, and to be valued as an individual. In addition, the Committee on Economic, Social, and Cultural Rights, the right to proper housing must not be narrowly understood, but rather includes the right to benefit from freedoms such as arbitrary destruction, interference and freedom of residence, as well as rights such as the security of property, return of houses, land, equal and non-discriminatory access and participation in decision-making. The shelter must meet minimum requirements that includes affordability, habitability, accessibility, location, and cultural appropriateness. 3. Your counseling needs must be available. Trauma greatly affects someone from whom they would trust, and even knowing themselves also, which disturbs their mental health to accomplish a task they usually do. Counseling service is necessary specifically to women facing domestic violence, sexual violence, war violence and violence which caused a distressing thought to them. Regardless of the type of violence women experience, The end goal is to encourage women to take control of their own life situations and take responsibility. This is how they can overcome violence, move towards justice and become responsible citizens. It also means that counselors do not decide whether or not women should come out of abusive situations. Their main goal is to stop violence and not relationships and to achieve the goals of meeting the needs of traumatized women. It is important to follow specific feminist working principles. They are common in all regions from the experience of the women's movement in dealing with thousands of women traumatized by male violence. Victims are not guilty of the violence they endured. Thus, counseling means not giving advice but trusting in women's self-determination. 3 main techniques used in the counseling service. Diaresis normalization. Everything a woman experiences after a traumatic event is normal. Diaresis validation. Confirmation of women's experience. Diaresis ventilation. Giving women space to feel, cry, get angry, etc. The availability of this service is much of help to assess your mental health in order to regain your normal state, at the same time gain your confidence to live a life free from fear and become an independently strong woman because you have survived the worst events in your life. 4. Your legal needs must be provided. Lack of expertise of the criminal and legal structures can turn out to be extensive obstacles to sufferers of domestic violence in setting up safety. Legal advocacy is frequently the determining aspect in whether or not a sufferer will effectively depart an abusive relationship. You can find free legal services to some emergency shelter, or either they will incorporate this service outside of their residence through a referral. If you are having a difficult time searching one, there are also various affordable legal assistance available in Tampa, Florida. It is essential to get access on this type of service because this will end up the cycle of domestic violence and to let the abuser face some serious consequences they have caused towards you. 5. Equal opportunities for all residents must be practiced. Globally, women have fewer possibilities for monetary participation than men, much less get right of entry to primary and better education, greater health and protection risks, and much less political representation. Guaranteeing the rights of women and giving them possibilities to attain their complete capability is crucial now, no longer only for accomplishing gender equality, however, additionally for meeting an extensive variety of worldwide improvement goals. Empowered ladies and women make a contribution to the health and productiveness in their families, communities, and countries, growing a ripple impact that advantages everyone. The phrase gender describes the socially built roles and duties that societies keep in mind suitable for men and women. The expression of gender difference is complex in terms in some job opportunities, educational access, even in health needs. A gender-specific shelter conceptualizes their program suitably for women in order to recognize specifically their problems, purpose and needs they wanted to work out with. That purpose to put in force unique measures to enhance an individual's possibilities of fulfillment in employment and unique safety rights, which include paid family benefits with a proper to go back to work. In such approaches, the emphasis shifts from equality of get right of entry to impossibility to developing situations deemed much more likely to bring about equality of outcome. In this shelter, everyone should be treated equally and has different stories of experiences that brought them to one place. Thus, it also programs everyone that regardless of gender an individual has its role to accomplish in a society. You are in the right place that will show your worth despite of your good or bad experiences, because this is our fundamental right while thriving and surviving for good. 6. Your recovery pace should be monitored. As the popular phrase of "no man is an island" apparently portrays, that we could not survive in this world without someone to lean on in our crisis times and distressing situations to uplift us, or either just someone to go along with. After struggling from domestic violence, this shelter should uplift you by and by to cope from your traumatic experience, and they will constantly monitor your improvement. They will help and guide you on ways how to break the cycle of domestic violence as well. There is by no means any excuse for domestic abuse. None. But all too often, women fall victim to it. Not trying to agree with their companion is absolutely violent. They look past the primary punch, preserving the abuse cycle getting into complete swing. By being observant, strong, and communicative, breaking the cycle of violence is possible, allowing women to move on with their lives. As a woman, to end this cycle starts with you, and it starts today. Women's shelter should be the pertinent place to find your comfortable and secure place, as well as a place that will help you to cope up from all your fears and doubts. 7. Continuum support services must be transparent. Your consistent recovery is the prime consideration of their organization. Additionally, they will never let you leave without any assurance that you can fully live independently. Most emergency shelter or transitional housing offers continuum support services in terms of job opportunities, educational support to your children, or even into permanent housing to obtain long-term solutions and sustainability. The following are the common continuum support services you can avail. Permanent housing, employment and life skills program, medical services, addictions treatment or mental health services, and others offered by other emergency shelter. Some services might be made available on-site or either accessible to other transitional housing, or either 8. Healthcare services should be affordable and accessible. Women and families constitute the quickest developing section of the homeless population. Healthcare for those ladies is a mission, however an essential problem that desires to be addressed. Homeless ladies are at higher danger of harm and infection and are much less probably to attain wanted health care than ladies who aren't homeless. It is crucial to adopt efforts to save youth homelessness, to increase community primarily based totally offerings for the homeless, and to offer good enough health take care of this underserved population. Healthcare companies can assist deal with the desires of homeless people with the aid of figuring out their very own patients who can be homeless or susceptible to turning into homeless, teaching those patients approximately to be head sources in the community, treating their health problems, and presenting preventive care. It's essential for clinical employees to recognize how rules and legal guidelines can assist make healthcare greater reachable to the homeless. The Affordable Care Act, ACA, turned into signed through President Barack Obama on March 23, 2010, and turned into created to enlarge low-cost healthcare to all American citizens. The ACA additionally performs a function in stopping and placing an end to homelessness. The ACA advantages the homeless populace in 3 ways. It makes medical insurance greater reachable and low cost. It guarantees insurance for behavioral health care, rehabilitative services, and tenancy support. It shifts the point of interest of health care transport on consequences and value, now no longer processes and volume. 9. Your nutritional needs must be consistently provided. Many homeless people lack suitable fitness care, and positive nutrients-associated fitness issues are regularly occurring amongst them. Compared with housed populations, alcoholism, anemia, and increased problems are more common amongst homeless persons, and pregnancy costs are higher. The dangers range amongst homeless humans for malnutrition, nutrients-associated fitness issues, drug and alcohol abuse, and mental illness. For example, amongst homeless humans, fewer heads of households than unmarried adults are substance abusers, and mental health issues varies in occurrence amongst unmarried men, unmarried women, and mother and father in homeless households. Homeless individuals want progressed access to food, nutrients, and health services. More nutrition education wishes to be available to them and to service providers. Use of consultant samples and validation of self-suggested nutrients and fitness facts will assist assigned investigators to make clear the relationships among the characteristics of the homeless and their nutritional status. Studying the attributes and terms on their nutritional needs while on their recovery period would be a great help while on the process to obtain their positive outcomes. Health is wealth indeed. Without securing our nutritional needs, it would really be difficult to cope up from the roots of our struggles. As a result, Women's Shelter never neglects this basic needs of their residents for fast recovery and to fulfill the necessary tasks assigned by the residential houses. Your nutritional needs do not only provide you nutritious foods, but it is also aligned with the nutritional standards according to your needs from the breakfast, Snacks to dinner and everything served on plate are appropriately regulated based on your body needs if you are an adult, infant, or at risk. After school, combination of child and adult care program. Exact nutrition for everyone is essential. Thus, some emergency women's shelter provides community food program if you are certified of the following program. WIC, Women, Infants and Children Program. This program provides proper nourishment education, health screenings and vouchers for meals to pregnant women, new mothers, infants, and kids as much as 5 years of age. The Child and Adult Care Food Program. This affords investment for food and snacks for eligible kids and adults at infant and grown-up daycare centers, houses that offer infant care services, after-college packages and emergency shelters. To get rid of nutritional problems as obstacles to self-sufficiency and upward mobility for homeless women, and as impediments to improvement and readiness to learn for homeless children, through offering free healthcare and clinical services that are without difficulty in access will promote confident result to every woman. Attaining self-sufficiency is the best manner out of homelessness. Being healthy enough to locate and maintain a job, have enough money to support independent housing and turn out to be part of the community is what certainly each woman in a safe haven is making an attempt to achieve. 10. Shelter should be supervised by professional staff. Individuals operating at a safe haven are regularly required to do many things. Despite the fact that they don't appear in the task description consists of babysitter, nurse, counselor, teacher, housekeeper, cook, administrative assistant, protection police and many more. Shelters have various ranges of workforce depending upon the type of shelter, funding sources and varieties of offerings provided. At instances personnel may work alone or in a pair, at the same time as at others there is probably numerous personnel operating on the same time. Generally, shelter employees offer help to the residents of a shelter to assist keep order in the refuge and to assist the citizens attain fulfillment in transitioning to housing. There isn't always just one option to homelessness, so shelter workers want in order to create individualized plans for his or her clients. Supervising the emergency shelter by professional staff is the basic standard upon the establishment of a safe haven for those in need. Roles and responsibilities as well should be transparent to the residents to avoid miscommunication and disrespect behavior in case of emergency. Without their supervision, the offered program of the shelter will be ineffective to the residents and attaining the harmonious transitional housing might be difficult at the same time to maintain because the rules and regulations will be overlooked.